And we are live.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 8 of the Worldwide Wednesday podcast, season 2.
Alright, I am your host, Sovereign,
And I'm Shiny.
and we've got a lot of topics today. Last few weeks we've been condensing it down, but not this week. This week
Yeah.
we got a lightning round of topics, so we're going to go through them as fast as we can and hopefully not get to another 3-hour podcast.
Yeah. So let's start with probably the shortest topic in our media, which will be the new Dragon Ball Super superhero trailer that came out, revealing that Piccolo has a new transformation called Piccolo Potential Unleashed.
I'm not going to lie. When I first saw it, it was kind of like giving me like, oh, it's a transformation, like, yeah, potential unleashed or Kaioken, and that's what we get. Like a transformation on that level, where it's not like you're not like physically changed, you're just reaching for something within to get more power. Like that was my thoughts internally, just hearing the name to hear that my thoughts were validated. Yeah,
Yeah, basically what this is it is how would I best describe it? Basically, it's like Ultimate Gohan. It's Ultimate Piccolo
yeah,
is what he is. One thing that I do really like about this trailer is that even though we've been told this a whole bunch of time, I think it's very good that we're finally seeing definitively that this is a Gohan and Piccolo centric movie.
yeah. Like we get elements of Beerus, Whis, Broly. Actually, getting to see Broly for more than one frame is pretty. But of
Yeah,
course, he's not going to make any impact on the story, and most likely he's going to only show up for 20 seconds.
yeah.
Let's be honest here. We all know it, everybody. This is not his movie.
Oh yeah.
But to see that it's going to focus on that too, it's pretty good because honestly, Gohan and Piccolo have fallen off as far as what Super focuses on.
Yeah. I mean Super did give them a bit of spotlight when they fought 7-3 and Shimareka, both in their initial encounter with them and in the rematch,
Yeah,
where they were really good at tag teaming, which kind of just built off of what the anime started with seeing them tag team in the Tournament of Power.
yeah,
So this is like a culmination of all of that, where I've seen a really good analysis of it, where this movie is for Gohan what the early Saiyan saga was for Goku, in the sense that Gohan now has to deal with his child being taken away by the ghosts of his past, and he must now team up with Piccolo to get his child back and face what is a new but familiar realm of power for him.
yeah,
With Goku obviously being his brother in Saiyans, and for Gohan being the Red Ribbon Army that he destroyed when they came in the form of androids. Now we have more Red Ribbon androids in the form of Gamma 1 and Gamma 2, and whatever the third mysterious thing that's being created in that egg thing.
yeah. I will say I do like that the plot hook is extremely simple. It's just a kidnapping rescue plot. So that I do like.
Yeah. I do appreciate Piccolo disguising himself as a Red Ribbon Army soldier. And when he's like holding up Pan to make him look like he's threatening her, he's actually supporting her feet under his palm.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, just pretend I'm hurting you. I'm not hurting you, Grandpa Piccolo.
Yeah.
But I really like this. I really like that this will be what a lot of fans wanted, apparent like post Cell arc, which is just a story dedicated to Gohan and Gohan being a hero.
Yeah.
And I think a story appropriately titled Superhero is the perfect Gohan centric story for us.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like this is the perfect scenario because it can happen anytime in between manga arcs because we're kind of in a bit of a hazy scenario with where the anime is right now, having not seen a new super episode for like 4 years now.
Is it 4? I thought it was 3.
3 or 4.
I firmly believe that this, in continuity, because the movies are usually canon to the manga,
Yeah.
this takes place after Granola the Survivor.
Yeah.
Just as how, despite Broly coming out during the English run of the manga, it was
Yeah.
It was right after the Tournament of Power.
Yeah, because I mean the manga made Broly canon.
It's less that the manga made Broly canon, but more like
Or it solidified that it was canon.
yeah,
That's what I
because like as soon as the Tournament of Power arc ends, we see that Broly movie happened, and then we move straight on to the Galactic Patrol Prisoner arc,
Yeah.
which is actually in line with how the manga works because they did the same thing with Resurrection F. They went from Battle of Gods to Resurrection F happened to the Universe 6 arc.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be the same thing where the manga is going to be like, hey, superhero happened, moving on.
Yeah, and again, it's completely believable that this happens on the side, incongruent to any plots that are centric around Goku and Vegeta.
Yeah, and for one, this will be the first Gohan-centric movie we've had since Broly's Second Coming, all the way back in the 90s.
Yeah, my mind immediately shot to BoJack.
Yeah, I first shot to BoJack Unbound, but then I remembered the movie after BoJack Unbound was Broly's Second Coming, which was also a Gohan-centric movie.
But I don't want to remember Second Coming.
It was bad.
It's the worst movie.
Yeah, it's just that it was just simple.
No. This movie is going to be simple. That movie was pointless.
Fair.
Yeah.
I mean, it did set up Bio Broly.
Did it? Okay, I will give Bio Broly some credit.
Bio Broly was a good Goten and Trunks movie.
I will at least give it credit for being creative with its characters.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all.
And also, it made Krillin an absolute Chad. Krillin was pulling bitches in that movie. Rightfully so.
Yeah.
So, overall, I'm just like, really, I'm now more excited. This movie comes out in a month.
Yeah, which is crazy. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think this will be as hype-inducing as Broly. But
definitely not.
But I think we're still going to get a lot of excitement because, as most people know, if you've ever seen, if you've been in a theater with Endgame and know the hype there, I'm sorry, but no hype is comparable to Dragon Ball fans.
Yeah,
I am sorry.
The hype that took place in Dragon Ball Super Broly was insane. I think the only thing that was comparable for a theater experience for me was the hype in No Way Home.
Yeah, that's oh god, I don't even want to say No Way Home eclipsed Endgame. I'm sorry. After the many times I've seen Endgame and the many times I've seen No Way Home,
I feel like No Way Home in terms of crowd reaction definitely eclipses Endgame.
In crowd reaction, sure, but in hype, mm-mm.
Ooh.
In crowd hype, I don't think so.
The only reason why I say it doesn't surpass in terms of like overall crowd hype was because of the fact that the snap hit way too close to home with COVID.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But I mean, if I honestly feel like Spider-Man why are we talking about Marvel?
It's because we're talking about fan hype.
Anyways. So back to superhero though. I think it's gonna be really good.
And I still think that viewing it in theaters just to bring it all back. I don't think we're gonna see like huge fan reactions in the theater, but I think this will still be a very good time.
Oh, I think we're still gonna see huge fan reactions because I mean, it's Gohan. It's Gohan. Fair.
Oh yeah, we'll get the same amount of excitement as Goku failing to go Ultra Instinct and Broly as Gohan going Ultimate Form.
I mean, I think we're gonna get higher just because Gohan is always a badass whenever he gets mad, and I mean, his daughter got kidnapped. You know he's gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
And he's also wearing Piccolo's clothes like he did during the Cell Saga. It's very clear that they are taking what everyone loved about Cell Saga Gohan and mixing it with Ultimate Gohan and putting the super coat of paint on it.
Yeah.
Like, from the fact that Gohan is teaming up with Piccolo, from the fact that Gohan is, the fact that Gohan's wearing, like, Piccolo's clothes, the fact that he's only going Super Saiyan 2 and Ultimate Gohan, the fact that he is basically leading the charge in this, I think this is going to be a Gohan fan's like wet dream. And the CGI looks amazing this time around. Compared to when we first saw the CGI teaser for Goku, to now, CGI looks phenomenal, especially with the faces that they have on the blasters that whenever Gamma 1 or 2 shoot their blaster shots, the faces look amazing. Just the effects of rain when it comes to Gohan just fighting is going to be good, and I'm really excited for Piccolo finally getting a transformation. I mean, the closest we've gotten to a Piccolo transformation was when he fused with Kami.
Yeah, and the closest time we ever, like, the only time we ever see uh, Namekian transformations in the extended universes is, of course, the Red-Eyed Namekians, which,
Well, actually, it's now the Blue-Eyed Namekians. Thank you very much.
oh god.
It's the Blue-Eyed Namekians, but no one counts Super, so it would be Lord Slow. But I'm like happy he finally got a transformation, and I wonder if they will say that he got this transformation from reading the Namekian Book of Secrets. You know, that one thing that got mentioned in Battle of Gods about 7 years ago and has never been talked about again.
Oh wait, no, wasn't that a anime add-on, not from the movie, but from the anime?
No, it was in the movie.
What was the change made in the anime that got a lot of people like upset? They changed one thing about Namekian lore in the anime. I feel like a lot of people got upset about it.
I don't remember. The Namekian Book of Secrets was something brought up back in Battle of Gods.
Yeah.
Because that's how it was recorded. And
Yeah.
then Toriyama doubles down on it when he says that the spirit of Yamoshi went to Namek and spoke to a Namekian elder who wrote down the story of the Super Saiyan God.
Uh,
So that is firmly a Toriyama-ism, the Namekian Book of Secrets.
okay.
So I wonder, did Piccolo read the Namekian Book of Secrets and that's how he became Ultimate Piccolo? Or did he just go hang out with old Kai? And also, will we get any explanation for why it turns him yellow? Because Xenoverse and Dragon Ball Heroes have already shown what a unlocked potential Namekian looks like, and it's literally the same thing. But now Toriyama's like, oh no, they turn yellow.
No, they go super Namekian.
Yeah. Also, there is something that people have pointed out, which is that when Piccolo transforms into Ultimate Piccolo, the stripe on his gi turns from blue to black. So
that looks like a lighting thing.
It's a very distinct blue turning to a very distinct black. Some people are thinking, is this the Super Saiyan 4 Goku pants all over again?
Oh boy.
But I'm really hyped for this movie. I, for one, think Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 will be pretty interesting villains as we are getting more. I honestly prefer the Ginyu Force-esque villains more than the mustache twirling villains. Because, like, let's be honest here. The Pride Troopers, pretty cool. Katsopella, pretty cool. And then we get these guys. I think they're perfect antagonists for Gohan, personally.
Oh yeah, you do make a fair point with that.
They're like, these guys do poses. They're pretending to be superheroes. I mean, the only thing that, in my opinion, would have made this movie slightly better, but I understand why they didn't do it, is that they didn't just go and make this a full Great Saiyaman movie.
Yeah.
But I understand why they didn't do that, because let's be honest here, Ultimate Gohan and Ultimate Piccolo, far more hype than just Great Saiyaman.
Yeah.
But I do hope we do get reference to the fact that Gohan and Videl are superheroes. I really hope we do at least get like a scene of them doing like Saiyaman stuff and Pan being like, "Yay!"
Yeah.
I think that's everything. Do you think we'll get any more information within the next month about the movie?
I mean, this is the third trailer. This is typically around the time where news starts to not rely on trailers anymore and more just come from
Interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean the trailer dropping today was not today, yesterday was pretty surprising considering we already had gotten another teaser last week.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, a trailer coming out after teaser images does fall in line with things that we've seen before.
yeah, but we didn't really get to see like Goten or Trunks or anything.
Yeah.
Which was like the main thing in the teaser last week.
Yeah.
Also, some people are saying we're gonna get a Broly versus Beerus in this movie. like a light like Broly versus Beerus training.
Yeah,
If it,
that might be like like a side gag or something.
I
I
don't,
would believe it, but I don't think it's worth hyping up.
I don't think so either. I mean, I don't think that's the focus of the movie. And let's be honest here, we know the answer. Broly is going to lose to Beerus, and everyone is going to literally shit and piss themselves in rage.
Everybody forgets that we still haven't seen Beerus using Ultra Instinct yet
I mean, yes, we have.
in the anime.
Yes. I think it's just the fact that everyone forgets that Beerus has never shown his full power.
Yeah.
Um, Overall though, pretty hyped. Pretty
Yeah.
hyped. My hype for this movie has been steadily increasing
Yeah.
ever since it was first announced, and I mean, it's only a month away. I mean, I think this is the fastest turnaround between a Dragon Ball movie being announced and releasing. It's been like 6 months.
Yeah. And most of my hype is contained to the fact that it seems like an early Z movie, and the fact that the plot is going to be so simple, it's just a kidnapping rescue plot,
Yeah,
only solidifies that. Because
yeah,
of course, we've got the other three movies in modern Z and Super to refer to,
hmm
where of course it's delving back to ancient uh,
Saiyans,
the ancient Saiyans and the awakening of the
Super
Super
Saiyan,
Saiyan God. I can't talk today. I don't know why.
that was Frieza.
And then there's the resurrection of Frieza and that convoluted plot. Um, not that the movie was convoluted, just
The idea that
the idea that they could do it.
yeah, and then Broly.
Yeah, which
So
was probably the best example of a modern like Dragon Ball
yeah,
storyline. Because let's just face it, everybody loved Broly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
But the
mhm,
movie was still complex in the idea that it still delved into like the characters' thoughts and emotions
mhm,
and motivations and that stuff compared to the other iteration of Broly.
fair.
So to have a simple like Z style movie will be very interesting.
Yes. Now my final question is just this: what is the over under until these characters show up in Dragon Ball Heroes?
I'm not answering that.
Legends, Dokkan Battle.
Oh, you know they're holding off on those.
My over under for Dragon Ball Heroes is about 2 months after the release of the movie.
You only think 2 months.
Yeah,
I give it I give it 4 weeks.
I don't know. I feel like Dragon Ball Heroes has been like slowing down in terms of releasing like new characters. I mean, we still have not gotten like all the characters from the Tournament of Power. We have had no characters from the Galactic Patrol Prisoner arc and no characters from Granola the Survivor arc
Well,
in Dragon Ball Heroes.
well, you know how they don't really tend to hasten releasing manga exclusive characters
I guess it's just weird considering the
because
fact.
most of the marketing comes from the anime when it comes to like figurines uh and mobile game inclusions and all of that.
Well, my biggest thing is that for the longest time, so when Dragon Ball Heroes came out, it came out in a drought of Dragon Ball content. So, like, literally any and every piece of new Dragon Ball media was immediately, like, swept up into Dragon Ball Heroes. When the episode of Bardock first came out, immediately grabbed all those characters. When Yosan Goku and his friends returns, immediately swept up. When Battle of Gods came out, swept them up. When Resurrection F, took them in. And then once Super started, he started slowing it down. Like the Universe 6 characters were immediately brought in because there were so few of them. Then the Goku Black arc happened, and we got like obviously Zamasu and Goku Black and all that. But then the Tournament of Power hit, and then all of a sudden, we got very few characters. We got Jiren,
I mean, the arc literally introduces over 120 characters.
which is why I'm surprised that, you know, Dragon Ball Heroes didn't milk this shit. Because prior to Dragon Ball Super, literally everyone and their fucking grandmother got into Dragon Ball Heroes. Do you remember who Kogu is? Do you know who Commander Ziyun is? Do you know who Lacacy and Raisin are?
You're
Exactly my point. Everyone and their fucking grandmother got into that game. But now all of a sudden, like, so many characters are like straight up missing. Like, for example, I am pretty confident that like Super Saiyan 2 Kaba and Khalifa aren't even in the game. And Kale is only in her first Berserker form within the game.
huh.
But like I'm pretty sure like God of Destruction Topo isn't in the game. Or Ultra Lightspeed Mode Dispo. Which is weird.
Huh.
And that's not even to say the fact that they didn't even capitalize on at least putting Goro and Merus within Dragon Ball Heroes. Or the fact that it's been a year since the Granola the Survivor arc has have it, and we haven't at least seen Granola in it. Or Ultra Ego Vegeta. Like, that's what I mean why I'm wondering when these characters will show up in Heroes. I think maybe we'll see them more because they're movie characters, because we did get to see Broly and Paragus show up relatively soon. Broly, Paragus, and Gogeta show up relatively soon after their movie release. But I've noticed a sharp decline in readiness to add existing characters.
Yeah, again, I still think there's a bias towards anime characters as opposed to manga exclusive characters.
Yeah. I think there's the biggest bias is Dragon Ball Online, though.
Yeah.
They've been fucking milking everything that they can out of the Xenoverse Online universe.
Huh.
I mean, now they're straight making up shit. They're like, oh yeah, Supreme Kabutai, she had a predecessor named Agios, and she's like, wow, you're dog shit at your job. I'm taking over.
All right.
Okay.
This segment has gone way off the rails, and this was supposed to be a short segment.
Okay, let's talk about the next media segment, which is going to be our predictions for
The
Batman. So, I didn't realize this until earlier today, but the Batman is already in theaters in our town.
Yeah.
Which surprised me because that's not supposed to come out for another 2 days. So seeing that it already had came out, there was already showings, I believe, on Sunday and Monday and today, I'm like, wait a minute. I could have watched this movie already. We could have been doing a segment on Batman now and raking in hundreds of views as one of the first reviewers. We got fucking robbed.
That aside,
yes,
we should definitely talk about what our expectations and predictions of this movie are. Now, let's get it out of the way first. Is this going to be as good as the Dark Knight trilogy? I think it's going to come close, but I don't think it's going to be as good.
In my opinion, I actually have a different opinion. I think it's going to be better than the original Dark Knight by itself.
Oh, just
not better than the trilogy, but better than the original Dark Knight. And I feel it's going to be for one particular reason. I think this movie is going to end on a less bleak Batman universe.
You think so?
So this is something I've talked to Sovereign about in private, but I very much feel that despite how good the Dark Knight trilogy was, or Injustice is a good video game, just a bad story.
Yeah.
But despite how successful those things were, I believe they were, and this also dates back to other problems such as Alan Moore's The Killing Joke, but I feel that this idea of a darker DC universe has robbed the storytelling of DC, particularly in live action. I really dislike it. I feel it's been, and for a while it was like this in the comics too, and I really dislike this overly gritty, grim, dark DC universe, as I feel it very much betrays the values that were initially set up for when these characters appeared, but also the overall tone that was the DC universe in the 90s and early 2000s. Because the biggest thing about the DC universe was after Final Crisis, we had the next big thing was the Blackest Night, which was about the Black Lanterns and people coming back from the dead. But then it ended with, of course, the counterpart storyline, Brightest Day, which was about light prevailing over darkness. And since then, the world was actually becoming a the DC world was coming a lot more brighter. The Batman family was now a fully functional and structured family that was building off of a lot of healthy relationships. Cassandra Cain was finally free of everything involving her father David and her mother Shiva. Dick and Damian had a great relationship as Batman and Robin. Bruce was taking on a more fatherly figure that was less like psychotic dad and more like well adjusted father. Like Superman, and obviously Superman had a great relationship going on with Superboy. The Titans were actually not dealing with some shit for the first time in a while. We're actually maturing. The Flash family was doing really well with Bart Allen and Wally West, and the fact that Barry had recently come back from the dead in Final Crisis. But then I feel like we switched to the New 52, which was fine. But then the Dark Knight and Injustice happened, and I feel the DC universe has been stuck in this grim, dark, overly grim storytelling where, like, characters can't be in love anymore, which is why Batwoman, Kay Kane, wasn't allowed to have her girlfriend and get married. It's why we had stupid things such as the inevitable breakup of Batman and Catwoman, despite that relationship being developed over 100 fucking issues. The fact that Superman and Lois Lane's relationship was like weird and strained, and they decided to forego it for a more Superman Wonder Woman relationship, which, ew, no, no, stop. They're friends. They're just really good friends. Leave them as good friends. Like I really just dislike the idea of any of the Trinity dating each other, as I feel like that's just not who they are. I feel like they're just really good friends,
Yeah.
which is partially one of my well, it would have been a big complaint of mine in the story Kingdom Come, but Lois Lane was already dead, so it makes a bit more sense that Superman got with Wonder Woman. But still, I I feel like it definitely robbed the DC universe of its bright and hopefulness, especially moving into the DCEU with Man of Steel, which served to be a deconstruction of Superman and of superhero stories as a whole. With the problem being is that there was nothing to deconstruct, as there had been nothing constructed. The Dark Knight trilogy was all dark and gritty, but we lost some of the greatest bright spots in Bruce's life. We had no Robins, which are supposed to be the tethers of preventing Bruce from fully descending into madness, having children of his own, the next generation, people that give him fresh new perspectives. I felt was very much taken away from him, as well as the fact that he had no connection with the wider DC universe. His friendship with Superman is a mutually beneficial, mutually respectful, and mutually just like loving relationship. The two of them love each other like brothers and is one of the greatest relationship Batman has. And the Dark Knight movies, for as good as they were, they never allowed Bruce to have fully healthy relationships. I mean, his first love is dating Harvey Dent, and then she gets killed. Um, what else happens in the Dark Knight movies? He gets his back broken by Bane, which is really bad on its own, but he doesn't have the support of really anyone else.
Yeah.
It's it's just really depressing, and we see more of that in the DCEU Batman, where we get to see a Batman who has already gone through the death in the family storyline. So he has no Robins. He's completely just dissociated from everyone. Like, even when it came for the Justice League, Joss Whedon completely butchered Batman potentially becoming a positive role model for what was supposed to be Cyborg's breakout movie. Because in the comics, Cyborg and Bruce were actually developing a bit of more of a healthy relationship since Cyborg was upgraded from Titan member to founder of to Justice League founder, and they got robbed of that. Like, just it's really sad. And I mean, that's why it's been like pretty funny that one of the best regarded DC movies is Shazam, a lighthearted, funny family movie, and The Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Which, all of that being said, is a very interesting perspective, especially going into this. It's going to be a dark noir storyline. So,
Yes, but I
but I think that since we're getting this gets put all into a weird, like, questionable aspect, considering the main villain that we're getting is the Riddler.
So I actually like that they're doing this as Dark Noir, specifically because they have made this very clear. This is early Batman.
Yeah.
And I think that is why this works best. Because wasn't it in The Dark Knight, he was already Batman for a while?
No, Batman Begins.
The Dark Knight.
Well, yeah, Batman Begins is the first movie, and then The Dark Knight, he's been Batman for a few years.
There's 3 Dark Knight movies, right?
Yeah, there's Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises.
Okay.
So, yeah, Batman
Yeah.
Begins covers his origin story.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But when it came to this one, I think it's better for him to be dark and edgy now because he's new, and he hasn't had any of his relationships set up.
Yeah.
I mean, Commissioner Gordon isn't even Commissioner Gordon in this movie. He's, I believe, just a detective.
Yeah, which is pretty similar to how we see it in the Dark Knight trilogy too.
Yeah.
Because we see his progression up to Commissioner. Because
Yeah.
I think in that movie, you think he was just a lieutenant.
Yeah. Another thing is that we're gonna see him meeting with Catwoman, but we're also, and I think this is the most important thing, is we're gonna start with a bit more personal to jump out with, in the fact that he gets to deal with how his parents influence Gotham, which I think is a big thing about Batman.
Because we see glimpses of it, of course, in the Dark Knight trilogy, but it only has, like, it's only relevant in, like, little, like, 2 to 3 minute snippets in the first and third movie.
Yeah, I mean, Joker does a better job of presenting how the Waynes influence Gotham than the Dark Knight trilogy does.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're completely correct about that, because it's like behind the scenes you see all of, like, the not corruption, but, like,
no, it is corruption.
Yeah, you're right, corruption. I was trying not to use such a loaded term with that, but yeah, you see all the corruption that goes on with, like, people in higher power, and how, like, like, Arthur Fleck is, like, completely screwed by that.
Yeah, and I think this movie, for one, I really do hesitate to say this. I think, for one, does still take place in the same universe as Joker. I just don't think they're going to have it be played by Joaquin Phoenix anymore.
Oh, you think this is a DC Dark movie and not part of the DCEU?
No. I think DC Dark will be the new DCEU.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind it. It's just very questionable to me.
The reason why I believe that is just because of the fact that we're heading straight into a multiverse arc, and conveniently at the beginning of the multiverse arc, we're getting a new Batman.
Yeah.
And they already have a Joker set up. They don't even need to set one up. They already have one. They already have a fantastic one.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
If the rumors are true that Barry Keoghan, he played Druid in Eternals.
Yeah.
If he is the Joker in this movie, as the rumors say, I think he could play a pretty good Joker that is now gone completely over the deep end in the years after Joker.
Yeah. I was led mostly to believe that this would still take place in the DCEU, and that this was going to be a prequel story. But, I mean...
I from everything I heard, this was just supposed to be something different.
Yeah.
I never heard it was supposed to connect in any way to the DCEU.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll just have to report back and just figure out what we see.
Yeah. But anyways, as for predictions in this movie, I think Riddler's living. I don't think he's dying.
I mean, honestly, yeah, that is, like, it's very, like, it is very much a big part of Batman's character that he does not kill, and that the problem with his character is that he just keeps sending them to Arkham Asylum.
So I think one of the bigger things is that they're gonna leave it very questionably gray as to whether the Waynes were good people and a force for good in Gotham, or they were actually corrupt. I think they're going to make it so that it's a bit more complicated.
Yeah, yeah. Because in the Dark Knight trilogy, they pretty much have the perspective like, oh yeah, the Waynes, they're the best family. They do a bunch of humanitarian and philanthropic things for the city. Whereas in the Joker, you can obviously see they've got their hands in a lot of corruption.
Yeah. I think, and if this movie is connected to Joker, I think this movie will give a different perspective of Joker. Because you have to remember that we're seeing everything from Arthur Fleck's perspective, and in his perspective, he's an unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
So I think what we're going to see is that from Joker's perspective, the world is all fucked up and it's because of the rich people, which is true. But we're going to see that from Batman's perspective, that while the Waynes did fuck up and were part of a fucked up system, they were not necessarily malicious.
Yeah.
And also, you'd have to remember, if Joker takes place in this universe, Joker would have taken place at least 20 years in the past.
Yeah. I mean, it was technically set way far in the past anyway.
Yeah. So, like, it would work out.
Yeah.
But I do think, also, I don't think Batman and Catwoman get together in this movie. I think will be the beginning of their relationship.
Yeah. If anything, I would come to the perspective that it would only be a one-time thing. Knowing the DCEU, or just Warner Brothers and DC in general, I think it would only be a one-time thing, and then he would move on to other relationships, and then maybe he would go back. But
I don't think he's going to, just because Batman and Catwoman at this point are just endgame. They are the endgame relationship at this point. After what Tom King did in his 100 issue Batman run, it's been firmly cemented for the fans that Catwoman, endgame. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't think there are going to be any other women. And I think that's probably for the best. The only one, actually, I lie. If they do continue, it'll also be Talia.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm questioning that.
But my biggest issue is with Talia is how they will adapt her. Are they gonna go rapist Talia, or are they gonna go not rapist Talia?
Yeah, which is weird because I don't especially think they handled Talia al Ghul that well in The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I do think that they will be the endgame relationship.
Yeah.
Another thing that,
like, I still agree with you. I still think there will be some in the middle.
Yeah. Another thing is I don't think there'll be a Robin. No Robin teases this movie.
Yeah. It's way too early. I'm gonna be honest.
The only Robin tease I'll see I think will happen is we'll probably see a reference to the Flying Grayson circuit. And maybe a reference to how they have a young boy that's just as good as the parents. But that will be the only reference.
I hope so. Honestly.
I hope the only reference is to the circus.
With this being the first movie, like, well, not the. Yeah, will be the first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just erase BVS from our minds.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be connected to BVS at all.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be like yeah, I don't think there's going to be a Robin.
Yeah, honestly, I really hope not.
Yeah, and I also really hope. I think the next villain they'll set up is I think they'll follow the thread of organized crime, and this may be too soon after Birds of Prey, but I would hope they would do Black Mask.
Oof. Yeah, it might be way too soon. It's definitely way too soon.
Because we know we're getting Penguin. We know we're getting Riddler. We may get Joker. And we're probably going to get the Falcone crime family.
Yeah.
So, if we follow the Mafia thing, we would get Black Mask. If not, then I think the next villain should be...
I mean,
I don't want to say...
I mean, if it is connected to the DCEU, like I think it is, then it wouldn't be such a bad thing to include him, just to get a little more context to his character.
See,
because
part of me wants it to be Killer Croc, just because we haven't seen a good Killer Croc in a while,
hmm,
like at all.
yeah.
But I'm unsure. I'm unsure what a good sequel villain could be. I don't want to say Hugo Strange because I think Hugo Strange is a good third movie for like dealing with a bunch of returning Arkham villains.
Yeah, and then we don't want to see Ra's al Ghul yet because
Yeah,
the Dark Knight trilogy pretty much dealt with all of that.
yeah. I wouldn't want to see Ra's al Ghul. I maybe Mr. Freeze,
Hmm.
just because he's more of a sympathetic villain.
See, I would say I would still save that for the Flash. Not gonna lie.
No, that's Captain Cold.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Wait. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
No, Mr. Freeze, the Batman villain. Captain Cold's the Flash villain.
Okay.
Different characters.
Even though they play exactly the same in Injustice.
Yes, but no, I think Mr. Freeze would work because he's more of a sympathetic villain. In that Batman could be trying to find a way to help him save his wife, but Mr. Freeze is like, like doing his criminal thing, and maybe there's a villain pulling the strings from
Yeah.
behind.
Wait, is Killer Frost a Batman villain?
He started as a Superman villain,
Oh, okay.
and she also kind of fights creative. Killer Frost is she's a weird one. I wouldn't, and she's not really pegged as a Batman. The one character I don't want to see is Deathstroke. Absolutely not. That is a Titans villain, and that is a Beast Boy villain. Get him out of Batman. Absolutely not. Refuse to have Deathstroke. I don't even want to see Deadshot either.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to see Joker in a sequel. I don't want to see Joker in a sequel. Unless they're going to do a 3 Joker story arc.
Oh boy, I don't even want to get into that.
Anyone else that I could think of?
Yeah.
If they want to go with the whole, this is a trilogy about the Wayne family legacy, Hush could be the next big villain with all of his connections to the Wayne family.
See, Hush is one of the like the villains in Batman's Rogues Gallery that I know the least about.
He's the most connected to Bruce in the sense that he grew up with Bruce as like a family friend.
Yeah. No, we gotta save that for like a fourth or fifth movie.
Who are you thinking?
I was thinking Red Hood.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. Yeah, no, too early, way too early.
Because if you introduce Red Hood, one, that means you're doing a Joker origin story. Because the original Red Hood was Joker. And two, you would have to go through death of the family. But that would also mean you would have to go through an entire story arc with Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Calendar Man?
Oh man.
Kite Man.
Man, you had to bring out Kite Man.
I mean,
He is one of the most loved characters in the Harley Quinn animated show.
yeah. I'm trying to think who else.
Yeah. Although I do love
We
it.
could. Oh no! I was thinking, what if they do? If they really want to go like creepy and horror, Professor Pig.
Uh, what was he about? I remember it being like really.
Butcher Pig Man.
Wait, does he? No, I'm thinking of someone else.
There's also Scarecrow.
We've dealt with Scarecrow too many times at this point.
We could do Mad Hatter.
Yeah, yeah.
Why does he have so many fucking villains? There's Clayface that could be done. There's who the fuck else? This man has so many villains.
Yeah.
I'm afraid like I've missed like a major one. Bane, we've already done.
Yeah, I would actually like to see a more comics accurate interpretation of Bane. Not gonna lie,
Yeah,
because Bane wasn't that well received when he was first interpreted in the Dark Knight trilogy.
he was mean dog.
Yeah, yeah.
I personally like the
Like,
Young Justice version of Bane, where he gives up being on Venom and he joins the League of Assassins and runs a League of Assassins base out of Santa Prisca.
I just want to see Luchador Bane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see that Bane.
I think overall, I think this movie is going to be good. I hope they don't kill Alfred. I don't think they will.
No.
but let's not go down that way.
Yeah,
I like,
we're diving too much into speculation about future
yeah.
movies.
In my opinion, I think the only deaths that should happen, like I think deaths should be kept to a minimum, but I think the only deaths that should happen is to the DA, the chief of police, and the mayor.
Yeah.
I think those should be the only ones that be killed. I don't think that the Riddler should be killed off. I don't think anybody in Batman's court should get killed off unless they're like really corrupt. But I think the mayor's gonna play that role. Who's it that was killed in the trailer? Was it the mayor or the chief of police that was killed?
I don't remember.
I think it's the mayor that gets killed in the trailer. The mayor is the death that we see him investigating. The DA is the one that's going to get blown up that we see in the trailer. So I think the chief of police is the one that's still alive as the movie begins.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the guy that's in Batman's court that's going to die. Because I think this is supposed to build up his relationship with Jim Gordon.
Okay.
With a maybe slight reference to Barbara.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I hope to God we don't see Barbara. Just like with Dick, I hope that they make a reference to the fact that he has a niece, not daughter, niece, named Barbara that's pretty smart. Just as how we have reference to the Flying Graysons and that, they have a kid that's doing pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that should wrap that all up.
Anyways, that was a bit more rambly, discombobulated segment, but
it's just with the nature of how we're mostly Marvel focused,
and also just because I like DC Comics more than I like Marvel Comics. It's just that the DCEU and its movies just have completely turned me off.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk about our biggest media segment, which was sort of a surprise.
Yeah.
We have Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, Gen 9.
Already.
The 9th generation of Pokemon and the third Pokemon game being released, the third mainline Pokemon game being released in the span of a year.
Oh god, they gotta slow down. My wallet cannot handle these many games.
So, this is insane. Like, to be perfectly honest with you, I went into this Pokemon Presents and I told myself,
there's not going to be
it's not going to be Gen 9. When I saw the police officer walking around, I was like, this is Detective Pikachu 2. Detective Pikachu 2. But then I saw the Game Freak building and I was like, don't do that. Don't give me that hope. And then I saw the gameplay and I was like, okay, this doesn't look like Pokemon Snap. Okay, this looks like a main series Pokemon game.
Oh, that's the castle outside. That's the castle outside the wild area from Sword and Shield. And then you actually see it, and it keeps going, and like, this is a new region.
I was just like, oh god, this is probably a new region, but I'm not seeing any new Pokemon, so I don't want to do anything. And then they show the stars, and I'm like, oh my god, I'll be fucking damned. It is actually Gen 9.
Yeah, which I want to address the starters first.
Yes, so we have Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Quaxley.
Which, gotta say, I've been seeing a lot of people meme about how these are the most Fakemon-looking Pokemon that have ever come out. But I think that's just, like, a bias towards new Pokemon. Because I think Sprigatito looks probably the most, like, modern Pokemon.
Sprigatito reminds me of Litten, and everyone's calling Sprigatito basically Weed Litten.
Yeah, I think Quaxley looks the most like a Fakemon.
Quaxley does, but I love Quaxley, and I'm highly debating which one I want to start with.
Oh,
between Sprigatito and Quaxley, I'm like, it's like Grookey and Sobble for me. Like, I liked Inteleon more than I liked Rillaboom, which is why I went with Sobble. So I'm like, will the final evolutions be the thing that pushes me over?
Oh, I've already decided Sprigatito. I've already decided.
Yeah. I love Sprigatito, I love Quaxley. And Fuecoco is really cool. It's just, he looked like a fucking, what is he? He looked like Flapple to me.
Oh my god, I immediately thought, oh no, what is this Flapple ass look?
The funniest thing, I saw a meme, which is like, who is the madman that keeps putting craft singles on these fire starters? Because he also has this yellow rectangular patch on him, like how Score Bunny has it on his nose. And I know for Score Bunny, it's supposed to be,
Like
like
the tape.
athletic stuff, but like the fact that it was like who's the madman putting craft singles on these, but on these fire starters, I could not unsee it. But
But with that being said,
the starters I really like.
Yeah.
I like all three of them. I think I'm leaning most towards Quaxley.
Yeah. But with that being said, given the names that we've gotten, I think that Scarlet and Violet are going to be taking place in either Spaniard or Southern American inspired regions.
So it is all but confirmed that this is taking place on the Iberian Peninsula. So it is most likely going to be Spain. The real question that a lot of people really have is it Spain or is it Spain plus Portugal?
Yeah, because going off of the names alone, obviously there are Spanish influences on Sprigatito and Fuecoco.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I'm all for that representation, not gonna lie.
Yes. But yeah, no, this is all but confirmed to take place on the Iberian Peninsula. The slight pictures we've seen of the maps have really just shown that, yeah, it's Spain. And the cathedral and the center really plays off of, I believe it's Madrid.
Okay.
So...
Which makes, again, as a Peruvian American, while not Spaniard, still makes me very happy that we're getting some Spanish representation.
Yeah. This will also be the second region in Pokemon that I've actually visited in real life.
Huh.
I visited New York.
Well, which, of course, was
not visited. I was born in New York.
Which is what inspired Unima.
And I've actually been to Spain. And I've been to Barcelona. I've been to Sevilla. And I've been to Grenada. So, this will finally mark another region I have actually been to. So, I'm actually really hyped for that.
Yeah.
But
I do also want to touch on another big thing.
Yeah.
Is that the models in this game look really good.
Yeah.
I mean, mind you, this is coming off of Legends Arceus, which I don't know if it has been confirmed that they're using new models, but they look like really.
Oh no, they are using new models. Compare. You saw Hisuian Zoroark, right?
Yeah.
Compare the Hisuian Zoroark from Scarlet and Violet to the Hisuian Zoroark in Legends Arceus, and it's clearly more detailed. Same with Lucario, in fact, and Magnemite.
Yeah.
What do you think of the roster that we have so far?
Honestly, I laughed the most when I saw Stonjourner come back.
Oh, when I saw Stonjourner, I was like, wow, they are really just dedicated to, random ass mons that no one cares about.
Let's go.
They are there in the trailers.
Viper, Stonjourner, just throwing them out there randomly.
I mean, it's like when people are like, oh my god, like they're not going to bring Maractus back for fucking Sword and Shield. And the next trailer, you just see a Maractus chilling in the background. So, let me go through. The list of Pokemon that are currently available is the Starly family, the Lilligant family, no confirmation about whether Hisuian Lilligant is going to be there, the Serena family, the Golduck family, the Vespiquen family, our favorite child kidnappers, the Drifloon family, Stonjourner, Persian, no information on whether the Alolan forms or the Galarian form plus Berserker are going to be in it. Pelipper returning. Clawitzer. Altaria. Seviper. Jumpluff. Obviously the Raichu line. But no talk of Alolan Raichu. Blissey. Magnezone. Tyranitar. Florges. Lucario. And the Hisuian Zoroark line. We don't know if Unova Zoroark will be available.
Which leads to another question as to, will we see another limitation of the decks coming back?
I have a feeling yes, just because there was a small little detail they put on the website when Pokemon Home connectivity was announced on the website, which said that only Pokemon available within Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are allowed to be transferred from Pokemon Home. And I think that is to imply that, not everything's coming in, which makes sense because they've said that since they announced that there wasn't going to be a full Dex back in Pokemon Sword and Shield, and since then, that's been correct. I mean, every Switch game hasn't had a full Pokedex. Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, Kanto Dex plus regional variants, Megas, and Melton and Melmetal. Galar had a lot, but
Yeah.
not all. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl only had the original 493 Pokemon from Gen
Yeah.
4.
And then Legends
Which
Arceus
Arceus had-
had like a max dex of like 238.
Yeah, it's like 238
And
with
that's
like
not
several new mons.
yeah.
And yeah, with this one now, we're probably gonna get probably the same number that Galar has by the end.
Yeah.
But we have Gen 9 already. Like, it makes sense. It has been 3 years since Sword and Shield came out, and
But
we've been pretty closely following the 3-year formula.
but the jarring thing is, again, we got so many games in the past year alone,
I know. Like,
and we're already going to be advancing to the next generation.
and it's not like these games don't get. I mean, the only Pokemon game on the Switch that doesn't see consistent updates is Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
Yeah.
Because Sword and Shield still gets updates. I mean, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl just got the Shaman event. And Legends Arceus just got a full, like, expansion for free.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy. Do you want to know what's also crazy?
What's that?
These are the 7th games. No, these are the 8th and 9th games, respectively, to Pokemon main series games to be on the Switch.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. We're getting so many games back to back.
I know, because, I mean, when Gen 4, because Gen 4 had, how many? We had Diamond Pearl, we had Diamond and Pearl, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Black White, Black 2, White 2, and Platinum. So that was about 9. The 3DS had X and Y. They had Oras, Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. That was about 8. So now we're on 8. We're on Sword and Shield,
Yeah.
2. Brilliant Diamond, no, Pokemon, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee's 2. Sword and Shield is 4. Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl is 6. Scarlet Violet, 8. Legends Arceus, 9.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's really crazy. And if you really want, you can count the Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra as separate. But it's absolutely incredible how much main series Pokemon content we have on the Switch already.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that they're actually going to be taking a lot from Legends Arceus into this game.
Oh, it definitely looks like it. For one, this is open world. Like, open world.
Like, eliminating random encounters open.
I don't think they're doing eliminating random encounters. What I mean by open worlds, I mean, like, there's no loading screens. There's no, like, loading areas.
Or
like,
what I mean is, like, we're going to get more Legends Arceus style and Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee style rather than just static encounters like we see in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Yeah, I think we're more going to see a combination of what we got in the wild area.
Yeah.
With what we
like
got
we're going to see a lot of
Legends.
inspiration from the wild area.
Yeah, so I think we'll still get random encounters in grass, but I think we'll mostly focus on like environmental encounters, a la Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, really almost all of Sword and Shield, and in Legends Arceus.
Yeah.
And even Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl has overworld encounters as well in the Grand Underground.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that's here to stay. What did you think of the protagonist outfits?
I'm more jarred by the art style. Not gonna lie.
For me,
because the art style is entirely different from what we're used to.
Yeah, for me, I think this is going to be. I don't want to say it's. I think it's going to be a little bit of a soft reboot because this is the first time since Sun and Moon that the protagonists look like they're 10.
Fair.
Which is pretty rare because, I mean, let's go back. Red and blue are 11. Gold and silver, gold and crystal are probably 11. Brennan and May are 10. Dawn and Lucas are like 10. But then everyone else that isn't the Sun and Moon characters are pretty clearly like teenagers.
Yeah.
Maybe Chase and Elaine from Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee look more like kids.
Because I think it was hinted that the Black 2 and White 2 protagonists were a bit older?
They are definitely. I think they're the same age as the black one and white one protagonists were when they had their journey. So they're 2 years younger than Hilbert and Hilda.
Okay.
So this is. I'm just kind of surprised that we're just at Gen 9 already. I kept hearing the rumors Gen 9 coming out at the end of 2022, and I was like, that's pretty cool, but like, really? But it makes sense when you think about it. We know that there's usually two teams that work on we know that there's usually two teams that work on Pokemon games, and that the next generation has already started development when the newest generation begins. We've known this since at least Generation 4. As Black and White was being co-developed alongside all of Generation 4, X and Y was developed alongside all of Generation 5, Sun and Moon for all of Generation 6, Sword and Shield for all of Generation 7, so it stands to reason that Scarlet and Violet have been made throughout all of Generation 8. Meaning that once these games release, Gen 10 will already have started development.
Yeah.
Oh god, Gen 10! Fuck! That's gonna be a fucking whiplash.
Yeah, definitely.
But, yeah, I'm just more in shock. Like, it still hasn't fully settled in with me that we're already on the 9th generation of Pokemon, and we most likely will cross the 1,000 Pokemon mark this generation.
Yeah, you're right. Oh
We
my
will
god.
probably cross the 1,000 Pokemon mark. I mean, technically, we already have, if you count the different forms as their own separate Pokemon, such as like regional variants and
Yeah.
like the Rotom forms and the
Yeah,
Origin
but
forms.
I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't. So
I mean,
it'll be
you technically can. If they have a different Pokedex entry, you could consider them separate Pokemon.
yeah, but
But we will cross like 100 unique Pokemon, 1,000 unique Pokemon for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Which
I prefer going on that standard. Not gonna
yeah,
lie.
we're gonna have 1,000 unique Pokemon, which is that's incredible. And I mean, I just don't even know where to begin. Like, do you think we'll get gyms back this time? I think we will.
We should.
I think gyms are gonna come back, but are we gonna get side quests like we did? Are we gonna get like as many side quests as we got during like Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Moon, but in the style of how you can complete them, like Legends Arceus, where like they actually list out the side quests that you are doing?
Well, I still think this game is going to take heavy inspiration from Legends Arceus, considering
Yeah.
how many steps in the right direction that game took.
Oh yeah. I mean, this went from Legends Arceus was never advertised as open world, but this one is like building off of the fact that oh yeah, Legends Arceus like it's been very clear that ever since Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, that open world is the direction they wanted to go with the franchise.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it even more so with the wild area. The Grand Underground gave us another perspective of it. Legends Arceus has given us the best perspective of it, and now here we are. We're at open world. Fucking hell, we're at open world Pokemon.
Yeah.
I like it's just surreal to me in a lot of ways. It really is that we're at Gen 9. We're at open world Pokemon. We're gonna across the 1,000 unique Pokemon mark. Like, what new things do you think this franchise can do? We know there's gonna be a new mechanic, like Dynamax, like Mega Evolution, like Z-moves, because in the Japanese logo, there's a star type item that's in the Japanese logo, and usually the Japanese logos have the logos for whatever the big like gimmick is going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Now here's the real question: how much power creep are we going to see in this generation?
Well, Blissey's in the main game, but Tyranitar is also in the main game, and Pelipper. That's three OU staples right there. God, I know it's been like 6 years, but it's still weird to say Pelipper OU staple. But he is. Pelipper is an OU staple. Pelipper's been OU for like 6 years now.
Damn.
But yeah, I mean, Pelipper, Blissey, Tyranitar, the perennial borderline Pokemon Staraptor, gonna be there. We'll finally get to see Hisui and Zoroark in a competitive setting, which that will boost power creep for sure because normal Ghost is an absolute busted typing, alongside the fact that it has illusion. as its ability.
Yeah.
That thing is probably going to be OU. And so, power creep is definitely going to be a thing, especially if they bring over the moves from Legends Arceus.
Which I guarantee they are.
And those moves are pretty fucking busted.
Yeah, because I don't think we're going to have like a Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee situation where the exclusive moves are tied only to that game.
I hate the fact that those moves haven't come over yet.
Yeah.
I feel like they should just let them come over, be them exclusive to that singular evolution, and it'd be fine. Like, they wouldn't even make them overpowered. Leafeon definitely could use a physical attacking grass type move that sets up Leech Seed. That would be amazing. Why doesn't it have it yet?
Honestly, kind of, because considering that, like, Pokemon kind of wants to adopt Eevee as, like, their, like, secondary mascot.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense to power them up. Like,
Yeah.
they give Eevee a Gigantamax. Just do it already.
Yeah, just make the partner Pokemon available, make the exclusive moves available, and bam, like, it's not even going to break VGC, much less Smogon singles. But I do wonder, will we get something that's on the level of Zacian?
Yes.
Honestly,
yes.
I'm inclined to agree.
Without a doubt, ever since Mega Rayquaza came out, we have gotten busted legendaries every gen.
Yeah, what we got? What was it? In Sun and Moon, we had what was it? Duskmane Necrozma and Ultra Necrozma alongside Marshadow. Who the fuck thought Marshadow was a great idea? That thing is min-maxed as fuck. But no, then they really were like, oh, you want to see min-maxing? We'll give you min-maxing, because then we got Zacian, we got Regieleki, and we got fucking Calyrex Shadow Rider. And Urshifu!
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And, oh, thank God they never made Eternamax Eternatus fucking legal. That would have been busted. Oh, yeah, so we're definitely going to see power creep. Do you think we'll get another Pokemon that's basically Fishious Rend, the Pokemon? I mean, Dracovish was absurd.
I do kind of want to see them return back to the trend of making awful abominations for their fossils. I loved that so much.
I do love it, too. So one thing that's definitely going to happen, though, is every generation a signature move has been shown off. The signature move gets increased distribution in the next generation. Who do you think's getting Fishious Rend? And what do you think is the likelihood they're going to be boosted to Ubers?
God.
In my opinion, there's several candidates, most of which will get sent to Ubers. Sharpedo, Ubers. Gyarados, Ubers. Huntail, UU. Seaking?
PU.
No.
No, he's staying in PU.
Seaking with Fishious Rend? Are you?
Isn't Seaking untiered right now?
Yes. Listen, one move is all it takes. Exploud went from like bottom tier NU pre-Boom Burst to solid UU with Boom Burst. One move is all it takes. Who else could get Fishious Rend and absolutely dominate? Who else got fangs? Good enough fangs to bite into people. That's water. For Alligator. Fuck.
Yeah, we're really tugging the line here, huh?
Yeah. Okay, let's think of other busted signature moves that came out in Gen 8 that will probably get increased distribution. Boltbeak? Probably not.
Nah.
Dragon Darts? Probably not.
Nah, that's a Pokemon exclusive move. Like it's exclusive to that evolutionary line.
Headlong Rush.
Oh, we're gonna see that distributed all over the place. You know it. I mean, so many Pokemon know it in Legends Arceus as is.
There's only two. It's Ursaluna and Torterra.
I think that's enough.
True.
I mean, the fact that it's not exclusive to one Pokemon, that it's exclusive to two evolutionary lines.
Yeah. Wave Crash.
Oh, that's getting distributed everywhere.
What's up? Oh God. Shelter. I
think that's gonna stay with.
I could see it going to Crustle and Shuckle, which would already be busted as fuck if it goes to fucking Shuckle. If Shuckle gets Shelter, Ubers instantly. Ban it, please. Toxapex, ban it immediately. Um,
No.
Dire Claw. Oh God, Dire Claw. That's literally Dire Claw's just try attack on crack.
Uh,
What else? What else is another busted ass move that they gave Pokemon? Let me think for a second. Victory Dance.
oh God. Yeah, we're passing that around.
Victory Dance Victini. Ubers. Um, what is the move that fucking what is it? Psy Shield Bash? That could stay.
Yeah.
I think if it gets to another Pokemon, it won't be too busted. But what's the other? What's the other one with the real busted signature move?
The only one that comes to mind is Chloroblast.
Yeah. Ah. Ugh. Yikes. Ooh, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't like that.
Yeah.
These moves are gonna be.
I do think that moves like Ceaseless Edge and Infernal Parade are just going to stay to those Pokemon, in all honesty.
Yeah, Ceaseless Edge, Triple Arrows, and I think if anything, well, they'll be given to their regional counterparts.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, especially because they work off their new secondary typing.
That's fair.
Like, I can't see a Jutonian Typhlosion using Infernal Parade.
Yeah, let's see. Um, I don't Stone. I don't see Stone Axe just because I don't think we have another Pokemon that uses axes.
Yeah. I mean, it could work for some rock types. You just gotta present me the right one.
Mountain Gale, though.
I don't want to talk about Alphalug.
Esperwing. That one could be interesting because
Yeah.
there are a decent amount of psychic lines. There's Sigilif, there's Lugia, there's Zatu.
Yeah, and then there are the ones that aren't even psychic flying that can still use it, like Noctowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like those ones.
Yeah. Do you think the new status conditions like frostbite and drowsy will come back in replacement of freeze and sleep?
I'm definitely willing to replace freeze. I don't know if I'm willing to replace sleep, but I mean it would make competitive more tolerable,
It could be.
especially considering how dominant Spore is.
Yeah. What about the weather?
See,
Snow or like we have what is it? Snow, which what does snow do? Doubles the speed of ice types and makes Pokemon more likely to get frostbite and drowsy Pokemon more likely to fail to act. Then there's strong sunlight. The speed of grass types are boosted. I think that one's not coming back just because we already have
yeah,
chlorophyll.
I think those were just suited to like make Legends Arceus a little more unique. I don't see those coming back to the modern games.
So what about obscured and fixated? I think fixated's coming back.
I mean, Fixated. So with Fixated, I feel like that's like a less necessary like inclusion to the game.
I
Like
feel like it works for moves like what is it? Uproar, outrage,
rollout and things like
rollout,
that.
ice ball. I think that works. Same thing with primed. I think primed works for the double
Double hit.
the double turn moves. Focus punch, fly, dig,
Yeah.
dive.
Well, those just applies like visible statuses to things that we already know happen behind the
So I
scenes.
think they'll come back. Obscured though.
I don't want that coming back. I don't want that coming back.
No obscured.
No, without a doubt. No, 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 no. If you fight Giratina, you know for a fact that that is some of the biggest bullshit in the entire game.
Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Do you think
And it's just an excuse to have evasion in the game, especially with stat changes not really being that prominent in Legends Arceus.
do you think we'll get Legend Played Arceus?
Yes, without a doubt. In fact, I do think we're going to get a shiny Arceus release probably within the next year or so.
That's interesting.
I do think we're going to have an event giveaway of that.
Because there is, so far, I believe to my knowledge, there has been no legitimate shiny Arceuses ever available.
I feel like there was one Japan only one.
There may have been a Japan only level 100. Maybe.
I feel like that has been a thing. But we should definitely end it there because this segment has been very rambly as well.
Yeah, it's a new Pokemon generation, and it happened so fast, because what is it? Legends Arceus came out like a month ago?
Yeah.
And Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl came out, what, 3 months ago? And then, what was it? Didn't fucking the expansion pass come out last year? Like in 2021? No, in 2020? Didn't the expansion pass come out? It did come out in 2020. Because 2019 was when Sword and Shield released. And 2018 was when Let's Go. This has been so many games so quickly.
Yeah.
God damn. Like I feel like I've just barely beat Sword and Shield. Oh my fucking god. I just can't get over it.
Yeah, it feels like a while. All right.
Yeah.
That should round up our media segments for the night.
Yes. So
it's up to you which political segment you want to start on first.
So I think the one that we should start on first is the quickest one for us, which I believe is nope, not that one. Not that one. This one.
All right.
Biden Supreme Court pick. Ketanji Brown Jackson Johnson. I believe it's Jackson.
We can verify that real quick.
Yeah,
go ahead. I'll verify that.
Yes. She is Biden's most recent Supreme Court pick. We've discussed her in the past because it was all but confirmed before that she was definitely going to be the Supreme Court pick. He's made it pretty clear that he wanted a black woman to be
Brown Jackson. Yeah,
Brown Jackson. Okay, yeah. He's made it pretty clear that he's wanted a black woman to be his next Supreme Court pick, and excuse me. So it was all but confirmed back then, but now here she is, official Supreme Court pick. Do you think she'll get through?
So that kind of speculation is very iffy because that relies heavily on our 50-50 split in the Senate.
Quotation marks.
Again, that's why this is a contentious point because we easily could have the two lunatics that are just completely obscuring everything block this without a doubt.
Yeah. I really hope they don't. I don't want a repeat of
Ruth Bader Ginsburg?
No. What's his name? The current head of Justice, the current head of the Justice Department.
That name goes past me right now.
It's not Neil. It's his name, like
Breyer?
No. He's not a Supreme Court. Let me pull up his name.
Yeah, because I know he's the one that's retiring and that she's about to replace.
Yes.
Yeah.
The current Attorney General. Let me look this up real quick because it is important that we get his name.
Oh, now I know who you're talking about. Oh, what's his name?
Merrick Garland.
There we go.
Yes, we don't need another Merrick Garland situation, which, if you don't remember, in the past, back when Antonin Scalia died, I'm trying to resist the urge to laugh because I hated Antonin Scalia. But Antonin Scalia, after he died, Barack Obama wanted to nominate Merrick Garland for the position, but he was stonewalled by Republicans who said we shouldn't have a Supreme Court nominee put in during an election year.
No. You got to do it right. Well, we should have an election during an election year. It's a very uncouth.
and I just
So you got to
yeah.
do it like that.
But yeah, so he did. So they completely stopped Merrick Garland, which prevented us from getting a Supreme Court pick during Obama's presidency. And then, of course, we know Donald Trump completely reneged on that and put in Amy Coney Barrett. And so here we are. I hope that they don't try and stall this till after the midterms. I really hope they don't, because I'm afraid that's what they would do.
Yeah,
Especially
but
because
we do have indications that like Biden himself and his cabinet want to push this like push it in like really fast
I
because
really
especially
hope so.
because with the midterms coming and us potentially losing the House and potentially the Senate, a bigger if. Yeah, we got to get in there soon.
We do, which is why I'm really afraid because let's be honest here.
I could definitely get in the way of.
Not him, not him. The other one.
You know, I'm still gonna have a lot of impact on
Listen,
that. You know.
I expect the Republicans to deny. I don't really give a fuck anymore. They are doing their thing. They're pieces of shit. We all know that song and dance. It's Manchin that I have a problem with because he just did the anti-abortion thing.
Yeah.
Which fuck him. And I'm really afraid that he's just going to see this as another way to leverage more power and leverage more corporate donors to stall this as much as he can with his little flunky with him fucking what's her face Cinema.
Yeah.
Who's basically just a wine mom in waiting.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, what I'm really more what's caught my attention more with these updates is the conservative response to her getting potentially nominated.
Which is listen, if you know what conservatives think about black people, you already know what they're saying.
Yeah, because their biggest line to say was, "Oh, she only got nominated because of affirmative action." While fair, Biden did use that language to they make affirmative action. You know why they're complaining.
Listen, conservatives. I mean, it's the old adage: 2 genders, male political; 2 races, white political; 2 sexualities, straight political.
Yeah.
This is
like
anything that was not a milquetoast white man or an absolute trad wife white woman was never gonna get was never gonna get any.
And also
good,
this
good
dives
place.
into their hypocrisy because Trump literally did the exact same thing. He did this saying that he would elect a female Supreme Court justice.
Mind you, that was only after he pushed through 2 male ones.
Yeah.
So he got to play the id poll game a lot better in the eyes of the conservatives because he put the men through. So they were like, we could let a woman in. We could let a woman on there.
Actually, no, I take that back. They technically still put a man in there because she probably still lives them. She still probably takes the cases, presents them to her husband, and how should I rule on this?
Okay, let's not go too. That's a little too much into the sexism thing. Let's not take away her agency. She's a piece of shit on her own. I'm not
making fun of her because of her sex. I'm making fun of her because of her religiosity.
Oh, obviously, but I think she's a piece of
she conforms to those norms. You know that for a fact.
I mean, women in conservatism have been pretty fucking strong. I mean, you gotta remember, women in conservatism do a lot of shit that we just say men do. But anyways, yeah, the usual suspects, the Tucker Carlsons, the fucking Sean Hannitys, the fucking OANs, the Newsmaxes, they're all screaming affirmative action, blah blah blah, diversity hire, whatever, same shit as always.
Yeah, we see this all the time.
She was she's a circuit court judge?
A circuit court of appeals, I think?
Yeah, she's a circuit court judge. You have to be pretty fucking smart to be in that position in the first place. And most Supreme Court justices come from circuit court judges anyways. So she's qualified.
Oh, without a doubt.
She's qualified. I mean, while Biden has made it known he wants to have a black woman on there, it's not like he picked some random black woman with a law degree.
And that's what they think, because I remember back in the day, oh, this airline's gonna going to bring in women to actually be able to be pilots, and their immediate response was panicking about how purple-haired freshmen, like freshman college women, were going to be flying our planes.
And it's like, listen, dude, like, I just the conservative pandering that they think about minorities, where they literally think that like minorities just like sit there and do nothing and then just get picked to do a job, is so fucking degrading. Like this woman, Ketanji Brown Jackson,
Jackson.
Jackson, Ketanji Brown Jackson. She is more than qualified. She's been doing this for at least 20 years, right? It's 20 to 30 year career, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, she's been doing this for a long ass time. She knows her shit. The only reason that this is considered political is because of the color of her skin. And I mean, let's be honest here. It's 2022. The bench should be a bit more diverse, and we have an abundance of qualified minorities to be on the bench. Why not?
Yeah.
It's not like the bench isn't white as Wonder Bread as it stands.
No, but you don't understand. We really care about abortion. Gotta fight it.
I just
Like,
conservatives. Literally, I mean, this is the mantra that I've just had. Conservatives are a fucking joke. They are literally the whole ass carnival traveling around the world.
yeah.
I mean, I really just don't have much more to say than just, just stop being so fucking racist and sexist.
I mean, honestly, they would pull in more, like, because a lot of minorities are still, like, or not a lot, a significant percentage of minorities are still, like, economically conservative. But they
No,
can't.
they are. No, it's not just economically. A significant number of them are socially conservative, but the only thing stopping them is that they're
It's the
racist.
race.
Like,
Like,
do you know how many black Christians would vote for Republicans solely on the basis of abortion if conservatives weren't so fucking racist?
like, on God. Like,
Like, conservatives are really kneecapping themselves by being so fucking racist. They honestly could be cornering so many minority votes, but you know, being a bigot and being a fascist never breeds the smartest people. It breeds the most loyal people.
yeah.
God. Anyways, you have anything else to add?
I apologize for the accidental sexism. I won't do that again. I was making fun of her being ultra religious and confining to those norms.
It's gone. Anyways, I want to get to Russia Ukraine because I feel like the next topic that we have, I feel like I want to spend a bit more time on, considering this will be the fourth time in 5 weeks we have talked about Russia Ukraine.
Yeah. We gotta cover the war.
So,
The war in quotations, because Russia's performance is laughable for the past week.
yeah, so Russia has fully invaded Ukraine. I believe last week they were on the precipice of doing so. This week it is now, I believe, day 7 or day 8 of the war. And while Russia has had some performance issues,
Without a doubt, yeah.
I mean, they have taken Kharkiv, they have taken Sumy, but they are having more difficulty in certain areas such as Mariupol and Kherson and obviously Kiev. And there's been a lot of developments. For one, we have heard of the legendary ace pilot known as the Ghost of Kiev.
Has that been confirmed to be real? I've been hearing a lot of rumors saying that that was a fake.
Doesn't matter.
I mean, yeah. Propaganda is still propaganda, and this is helping propaganda, so that is a good point.
Like, let's be honest.
But what we know is true is the 13 soldiers on the island. That
Russia is saying that they did take them prisoner and that they are still alive. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on it. On one hand, it is entirely possible that they would just take them prisoner. There weren't many of them.
Yeah.
But by the same metric, there weren't many of them, so you could just kill them all.
Yeah. But either way, biggest sign of bravery. Well, no, I take that back, because we will get to the biggest sign of bravery.
Yeah.
And that is, of course, Zelensky.
Yeah.
Him staying within his borders, not accepting any transportation out of his country and staying there to fight the war, he will live on. Like, honestly. Like, even if he dies, he will be the greatest martyr that has ever come in the modern age.
Yeah.
Like, he knows what he's doing. He is, without a doubt, standing there and protecting his people. And, oh my god. Like, the reason that's so mind-boggling is you can't accept an American doing
Hold on. I think the Ghost of Kiev is real.
that. Really?
So this take this as a grain of salt, but according to flyingmag.com, don't know how reliable they are in this. They believe that the Ghost of Kiev is ace pilot. What's his name? I just saw his name. Colonel Oleg Colonel Erlich Sensor Grey Wolf Oksachenko is the Ghost of Kiev.
Okay. Yeah. We're probably not going to find out the validity of that for a while because I've heard a lot of rumors about it being true or false.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But either way, Zelensky has the biggest fucking balls right now.
Oh yeah.
Staying in fucking Kiev in the trenches alongside the mayor of Kiev as well.
And also the former president as well. One of the former presidents.
Yeah, not the 2014 one. That guy's still in fucking Russia.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're down there in the fucking trenches. I'm just gonna come out and say this. Ukrainian civilians are fucking psychopaths in the best way possible.
Yes.
These people are fucking psychos. From the woman that walked up to the soldiers and said, "I hope your blood fertilizes these sunflower seeds," to the crowd that literally blew up an armored vehicle and just murdered the fucking people inside of it, to the TikTok mom and daughter just fucking roasting Putin for blowing up their house with a missile, to the guy running up to the Russian convoy saying he'll tow them to the fucking border. These people are fucking insane. And it's amazing. These people go hard.
Yeah.
These people go so fucking hard. It's actually insane.
And like I said, you can't imagine an American doing this.
Oh no, America would fold so fucking quickly.
Yeah.
These people don't, which is really, it's sad. I say it's sad mainly because the reason why is because they are in no position to. If they fold, that means death. But also because, let's be honest, for a lot of Ukrainians, it's been in the back of their mind at least since 2014 that this could have been a possibility.
Yeah.
Which is really sad and really goes to show that this invasion is something that, while most of the West ignored, was something that many in the East saw coming.
Yeah. And this is all being fueled by, like, probably the best example of what this is an example of good nationalism.
I wouldn't say good. I would say this is more patriotism than nationalism.
Yeah, well, I guess if you dig into it, it's pretty, like, there are small differences in there, but they're in there protecting their people.
Yeah.
Not, like, this isn't like a blood and soil thing, like Putin put it out to be. Or that's not what Ukraine.
Yeah, they're just defending their home.
They're defending their home, their land, their families, all of that. This isn't some like what's the opposite or whatever Putin's doing. Let's just say that because I'm having trouble coming up with
this isn't fascism.
Yeah, this isn't motivated by like any type of fascist rhetoric or anything like that. This is motivated by people who genuinely want to keep Russia out and keep their people safe.
Yeah, I mean, their diplomats have been going crazy too. I mean, did you see the one diplomat say to the fucking UN that Putin should kill himself?
I did see that.
Yeah, he literally, in the UN, straight up said, you don't have to do all this. You could go the way of Hitler, like he did in the bunker. Which, my God. Like, that should tell you how badly communication is broken down between these two nations when ambassadors are straight up saying, yo, dude, kill yourself. Like, that's fucking, that really goes to show that whatever bridges were there have been thoroughly burned to its atoms.
I mean, with with
With good
enough
reason.
with good reason, yeah.
With good reason, obviously. You did invade their fucking home. But it just goes to show that Ukraine is not taking this lying down. The fact that Russia has been dealing with a lot of logistical errors from expired food, from not enough fuel, to soldiers not being told that they were supposed to invade and thus going AWOL, to many of them being taken prisoners, to, I don't believe this was ever confirmed, but to what was rumored to be a 5,000 soldier riot in opposition to invading Ukraine.
Yeah.
Don't know if that was true. Probably not true. But if it is true, someone please let us know.
Yeah, but have you seen how they've actually been treating the soldiers that they arrest? Like
Obviously,
whether
obviously they've been they're
whether it's
prisoners.
well, yeah, whether it's genuine or really really good war propaganda. Like you see some of these videos where like, oh yeah, they're letting the soldiers
Yeah.
call their family like I don't think they're holding them like how Russia would hold prisoners of war.
Oh, probably not. But at the same time, you're still a prisoner of war, so automatically your conditions are shit.
Yeah.
So let's not glorify this a little too much. I mean, in the videos that I've seen, I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, that they're letting
Again,
these kids call
like
their parents, but you also have to look at the fact that these kids are covered in cuts and bruises and probably have other injuries we haven't seen.
again, like half of my mind is thinking, okay, this might be some really good propaganda because
Yeah, I think
I don't believe this 100%, but
no, they've been doing really good on the propaganda front, but let's not go too overboard.
let's not
Prisoners of war are still prisoners of war.
yeah,
It's inherently shitty.
let's not rub their dicks too much on this.
Yeah. Another thing I do want to criticize Ukraine for was advertising the Azov battalion
Yeah, that did it.
using the lard bullets, which is just like, listen, that's just
Yeah, that was a yikes
it's
move
for
right
for
there.
one, it's highly racist, but two, it shows a fundamental just misunderstanding of Islam. I'm pretty sure in Islam, getting shot with a pork lard like bullet is not going to send you to hell. You got shot. That's not willing consumption.
Yeah,
That's
because
literally getting shot.
yeah, that's not the same thing.
It was pretty disgusting, and I honestly hope every member of the Azov battalion have a hearty meal of heated lead into the back of their skulls.
Yeah.
There aren't many of them, but still, as Low Tier God would say, kill yourself right now, please. Azov battalion, kill yourself. Oh, and while you're at it, Wagner Group, do the same as well. The Wagner Group in Russia, they should do the same as well. They're returning from a mission of slaughtering Africans to now try and slaughter Ukrainians.
Yeah. Which one last thing before we wrap up the segment, as we should talk about the potential of this alleged 40-mile convoy that's coming in to Russia.
So
from Russia.
Yeah, there's an alleged 40-mile convoy of Russian tanks, right?
Yeah.
Coming into Ukraine. I believe they're on their way to Kyiv, right?
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Kyiv is most definitely going to get shelled to oblivion.
I mean, it's their obvious target.
I mean, that's where Zelensky is, and he's at the top of their kill list. If Zelensky doesn't die, then you cannot in any way make a legitimate claim to ownership of Ukraine.
Yeah, because as soon as Kyiv falls, all of Ukraine falls.
I mean, you could hold out in areas like Lviv?
Lviv? Yeah.
Lviv? Or maybe in like the southern regions near Moldova, which I've been hearing several rumors, and this has further been demonstrated.
I mean, you can have like uprisings in those areas, but those are immediately Russian territories with very antagonistic like.
So there's two things I want to bring up. One, Belarus is joining the invasion.
Yes, that has come up. That
Belarus is joining the invasion, which is to be expected.
Which enjoy those sanctions.
Yeah, but the other thing is that Moldova looks to be next.
Really?
If you've looked at the pictures that Lukashenko has shown of the Russian Belarusian battle strategy, Moldova is listed on there as area to be carved up.
Huh.
And I remember at the beginning of the invasion, there were reports of blasts and missile like explosions close to Moldova, which at the time were attributed to probably just the sounds of what was happening in Odessa and other neighboring areas. But I wouldn't be surprised if they make a grab for Moldova while they're at Ukraine. And that's a scary sight because there will be of no precedent for
Yeah.
Moldova getting taken. But all the same, it would be much easier to be taken over because they have no arms given to them by the West. They haven't requested it because, to their knowledge, they are not in any position to be invaded.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Ukraine falls, Moldova just falls right afterwards.
Yeah. Which a lot of the response has been on like the incompetency of the invasion of Ukraine, which it has been, but this new convoy has me very concerned.
Yeah. The biggest thing that I have is that, say Russia does take Kiev, do they have the money to take the country? Because
or not even, do they have the money to keep their occupation in Kiev?
that's what I'm saying.
Like-
Like, war is expensive. There's a reason why America, despite all of its attempts at nation building, and I say this in heavy quotation marks, within the Middle East, failed spectacularly every time. That shit's expensive.
Yeah,
And America was under no sanctions when they did their quote unquote nation building within the Middle East. What hope does Russia have to maintain any form of nation building inside Ukraine? Because let's be honest here, Belarus is about to get hit with a metric fuck ton of sanctions. And let's be honest here, the Russian ruble isn't doing too hot. The Russian ruble is currently worth 3/4 of a Robux. Your average 10-year-old is making more money off of fucking Roblox than your average Russian worker. 3/4 of a fucking Robux. I would fucking kill myself if I found out that fucking 6-year-old little Timmy was making more money off of fucking Roblox. That's fucking embarrassing.
But yeah, for context, the Russian ruble has fallen 25%
in value
over
over
the
a week,
span of a week.
which is fucking insane. It's horrible, and it's absolutely devastating to every single Russian civilian there.
Which, of course, the worst part of the sanctions that we've speculated on is the impact of the lower classes in Russia, which, lo and behold, they're happening. I mean, mind you, these are still targeted sanctions, but those still affect the lower classes.
Yeah, I mean, several Russian banks have been targeted by sanctions. Several Russian banks have been booted from SWIFT. But, of course, this is all still going to affect the lower class people in Russia, who are very unhappy with this invasion as well. This is not popular within Russia. Let it be known that the Russian populace does not side with their government on this. They see Ukrainians as a fellow Slavic nation. They have a lot of friends and family that live in Ukraine. There's a lot of cultural overlap in Ukraine. This is not a popular invasion by any stretch of the imagination by your average Russian citizen, or even your average Russian soldier, given by many of the testimonies we've seen from Russian POWs. But, once again, they're POWs, so to say that these statements are made under duress is an understatement.
Yeah.
But, oh my god, this war is just, it's horrible, and we've now seen the tanky discourse shift from, well, the invasion isn't going to happening to, the invasion's happening to, well, you should just let Russia just get it over with.
Oh boy.
Which, at this point, the obligatory tankies are just conservatives with a red coat of paint. They are just fascist. They are just ethno-nationalists, and fuck them.
Yep.
Honestly.
Moving on, because that's not the point of our segment. We ranted about them last week.
Yes, but overall, this invasion clearly has shown that this is not going to end anytime soon.
No.
And, I mean, I dread the future. I dread the future for what will happen to Ukraine as a country, because it's not going to be anything good.
Yeah.
Like, it really isn't going to be anything good, because Russia still has the more dominant military. Russia, if worse comes to worse, can use a targeted nuclear strike to blow up an area that's giving some type of resistance, but not nearly as much resistance in Kyiv, to lower morale of Ukrainians. Because once the nukes drop, everything's changed. But that's a really worst case scenario, because any nuclear fallout that has been done in Ukraine will most assuredly blow into Russia due to winds. and there still is Chernobyl, which is an active battle zone right now.
Yeah.
Which I saw a meme, which was like, "Hey, 2022, how are you doing?" And it's like the 2022 Battle of Chernobyl, and the guy's just like, "Holy shit!" And it's just like, yeah. To read the words Battle of Chernobyl, you're like, oh my god, fucking zombies are gonna show up. That's the only thing that could ever happen.
I just want to reach the post-apocalypse already.
We are the post-apocalypse.
Uh,
This is the post-apocalypse.
uh,
I'm just waiting for the fucking. I'm waiting for the fucking. What was it? What was the Queen Elizabeth's fucking husband? I'm waiting for him to come out of the fucking ground, start walking around. He's like, I can now show my true form. Speaking of the Queen, she has COVID.
I did hear about that.
She's probably not gonna die though.
No.
She,
She's got too many resources. She'll be
yeah, that woman's not dying for a while.
fine.
Not for a while.
But I do want to talk about like the response on like just like on social media in general on how supportive they've been of Ukraine.
Yeah, there's been a long outpouring of support. Numerous organizations have shown their support. Russia has been kicked out of what was it? I believe they got kicked out of the Premier League for soccer. They've been kicked out of numerous esports leagues. They've been kicked out of many different financial organizations. Russian athletes are not able to go anywhere now,
Yeah.
and which really sucks in my opinion because these athletes did not play a part in this, and they are just victims just as much as the Ukrainian people are.
And that's one criticism I have with a lot of these companies that are doing a lot of like individual sanctions, like like Apple cutting off their services to the Russian people, which I extremely disagree with.
I do disagree with this just because,
I
like, I get it, you're trying to stick it to the Russian government,
but this affects
regular people more.
I feel like these are just pointless virtue signals.
They are very much the definition of pointless virtue signals. Like, oh yeah, we cut Russia off from Apple. Dude, you think the Russian government gives a singular fuck about Apple? They have their own system of communication. All you're doing is fucking over regular Russian people.
And now they can't contact their family in Ukraine or contact their family in Russia.
Or anywhere else, for that matter.
Yeah.
Which really fucking sucks. And it's pointless, in my opinion. All you're doing is you're isolating Russian people. Which, if you didn't know, when you isolate populations in such extreme ways, it breeds extremist groups. So you're not actually doing anything to stop the situation in Russia. If anything, you're galvanizing extremist groups within Russia to agree with the current Russian administration, which will then only continue to support them and prolong their actions. You aren't helping. Stop fucking over the Russian people for the actions of their government.
Yeah, I had to bring this up.
No, you're absolutely right to bring this up.
Yeah, but I want to get back to where we started with what I was saying was like the response of people in like social media and all that. Because all in all, I've seen support for Russians. I've seen people advocating not to attack the Russian civilians themselves.
Oh, please do not attack Russian civilians.
I've seen a surprising amount of people say, don't do this, and that has actually kind of somewhat restored my faith in humanity and as to their intelligence.
Did you see how many, I think it was a bunch of liberals, because of course they were liberals, that were saying like, oh, we should kick out the Russians that are currently in America. And
God damn it. Are we trying to have another Japanese internment camp? What the
And it's
fuck?
like, what is wrong with you fucking people? Russian people didn't do this. The Russian civilians didn't do this. Russian immigrants didn't do this. Why the fuck would you treat them like they're somehow complicit in this?
I hate liberals.
It's the same justification for Japanese internment camps. These people are not representative of their governments, especially fascist governments. These are innocent people just trying to live their lives. And the fact that people are trying to somehow make them just as culpable as their government is fucking atrocious. You people should be ashamed of yourselves. The Russian people are just as much victims as the Ukrainian people.
You must be spending time on a different part of the internet than I am. Oh boy.
It's so fucking stupid. Stop treating Russians as if they're all some evil conglomeration of people and not the diverse, innocent people that they are, because they aren't the ones that wanted this war.
and that dives a lot into essentialism, not gonna lie.
Oh, it's essentialism to its umpteenth degree because it plays into a lot of Cold War propaganda that we used to run about how all Russians were just like, emotionless like killbots or just like emotionless seductresses that only really seek to seduce you so they can steal something from you and kill you. The
Yeah.
dehumanizations of Russians and Russian citizens have been happening for decades, and this is just another example of that Cold War propaganda seeping through in modern American discourse. But since the point does need to be stated, Russians are not responsible for the actions of the Russian government. Russians, by and large, do not support the current Russian invasion of Ukraine, and you should not be blaming your average Russian person for the actions taking place, much less try and treat them as if they're somehow second class citizens, you fucking weirdos.
Yeah. The small percentages of liberals aside, I have seen the opposite rhetoric as well, and that has been extremely heartwarming.
Yes.
The other thing, the big thing that I've seen also is people spreading around memes, not having any jokes at all, but just saying, hey, Poland's borders are open, they're not requiring visas. Go.
Yeah. Please go. I have been seeing some very unfortunate racism going on. The racisms happening in fucking Poland in terms of black Ukrainians and other brown Ukrainians not being allowed into borders.
Yeah, it's just.
Have you seen the number of total Ukrainian refugees?
I have not.
500,000 have already left the country.
Jeez. Yeah. Yeah, that's expected.
It's going to. I'm telling you, this is going to be just as bad as the Syrian refugee crisis.
Yeah.
It's going to be fucking terrible. And the record be stated that Slavic people are not treated well by other European countries. Slavic people are not considered white like how other European countries are considered white, regardless of the very racist coverage that we've seen in the West, such as people saying this is the first war between civilized communities in the Western world, which is fucking disgusting. Because no, the first war between civilized nations, whatever the fuck that is supposed to mean, happened when we illegally and unilaterally decided we were going to fuck over all of the Middle East and fuck them over. That was when two quote unquote civilized nations went to war. And I say civilized in quotation marks because everything America did in there was anything but civilized. No, there's been a lot of racist coverage by the West, particularly American Western reporting, which only goes to show that the American conception of whiteness really is so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Because, like, the only reason they say that is because both sides are white, despite the fact that the Slavic people aren't, wouldn't, they're not considered the same as other European people. The Slavs are not treated like they're French, or like they're Spaniards, or like they're Anglos, or like they're Germans. They're not treated that way because, lo and behold, whiteness doesn't fucking exist in that way. There's no unified white race. And this racist coverage of the invasion of Ukraine is really having Americans show their ass on a different front. The fact that they see these people as just all white people.
Yep.
You haven't seen it. This shit was on CNN. This shit was obviously was on Fox News.
You think I want to get involved in that?
I mean, it's not even like you have to go look for it. It's just in casual news updates where just pundits will say shit like this is the first armed conflict between civilized nations. And you're like, okay, bro, what about the rest of the fucking Middle East that we've been raping for the past 20 years?
Yeah. They just don't want to acknowledge American imperialism.
No, it's less that they don't want to acknowledge American imperialism. It's more of the undercurrent that brown people aren't civilized. They still see Middle Eastern people as people in fucking huts or bombed out shelters, instead of living in, majority of the time, pretty modern cities and towns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, the Middle East is a beautiful region, and it's modernized just like the rest of the world. But, people just think, desert land. So,
Uh,
yeah, if you are an American or a Western person, or really just anyone that sees this as a war between civilized folk and you completely ignore the absolute horror that was the War on Terror and how those regions were also civilized regions, you can go fuck yourself.
yeah, no, thank God I kept myself away from that media circle. Oh
No,
my
it
God.
was fucking disgusting. This is the shit that if you were truly trying to make any form of caveats about what a war in Ukraine would mean and you wanted to criticize the West for, this is the shit you should have been criticizing the West for. You should be criticizing the West for the essentialism that they're doing to the Russian people right now. And you should be criticizing the West for their very racist coverage of this war.
Yeah,
That should be that should be what should be criticized because that's objectively horrible on every front.
from Ukrainians, hasn't there been criticism like 3 weeks ago, like weeks before we could even fathom the invasion, that they were saying, "Hey, American media, don't profit off of our war, please, for the love of God."
Oh yeah, I mean obviously they've been saying that for a while, but like
Like,
was I
wasn't it like
guess
really prominent like 2 weeks ago?
it was so it's a little more complicated than that. There were people saying that, but there was a level of the Ukrainian government trying to tell America to stop ringing the alarm bell so loudly because they wanted to show a face of strength, hoping that it could potentially deter Russia from invasion.
Yeah,
But obviously, Russia was hell bent on invasion, and let's be honest here, the alarm bells were right to be rung.
yeah.
But yeah, no, if you really, really want to criticize the West and all of this, criticize their racist coverage and criticize their essentialization of the Russian people, and also criticize you know, criticize the subtle racism that goes on in war that like with the Azov battalion using lard or calling the Muslim the start with a C. I don't want to say the Cossacks, it's something else.
That slips my mind. I don't
I think
remember.
it's the Muslim Chechens calling them orcs, which is
Ugh,
fucking disgusting.
ugh.
No, criticize the West for that, because that's legitimately racist, disgusting behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that goes into all the updates that we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, so now let's get to our last segment, which is going to be the recent, colloquially it's called the Don't Say Gay bill.
Yeah, so it's HB 1557, and we wanted to touch this because obviously a lot of the media coverage is covering Ukraine and Russia, so we feel that this definitely needs to be talked about because let's face it, our attention is right to be like focused on Ukraine, but this
It's the first armed conflict on European soil since World War II.
yeah, but
Let us not forget the things happening at home.
yeah, because this has been able to slide under the radar with very little coverage, and it's understandable why it's not, but we won't let it slide.
Yeah. Well, so let's start. Do you want to take the lead on what this is supposed to be?
So this is supposed to be a conservative effort from Florida legislature that indicates that there will be restrictions on when you could teach about sex and gender ideologies to children in primary schooling, and that teachers have to indicate to the parents what if there's any changes to dealing with children's mental states when it comes to sex and gender ideology.
Yeah.
I think I got that just about.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So that comes with heavy implications, especially when anti-trans and anti-gay sentiment have been rampant within the conservative spheres in the US.
Yeah.
And
Overall, this is just another example of, well, conservatives being really, really fucking disgusting.
I mean, the conservative movement has been, it's like their linchpin that they require to keep their foundation afloat is bigotry. And it's now just popular for them to be hateful on trans people before, because before they were able to dunk on gay people all the time, and then it was legalized in 2015, and now couldn't they couldn't be homophobic anymore without looking like absolute clowns. So now this is what they've moved to.
Think of the children, they say.
Yeah, even though this is the same thing we've seen since we've separated people in bathrooms
Yeah.
and water fountains. This is the exact same talking point, like uh, essentializing um, essentializing minorities to be only child rapists.
Yeah. And also just treating that any transness, any queerness is indicative of child abuse on the part of the parent.
Oh yeah, and I guarantee you, as soon as being trans has been like well, I'm sure it's legally protected, but as soon as we get solidified wording in legislature that you cannot attack people that are transgender, they will shut the fuck up and move on to their next minority group to be bigoted towards.
I've heard some people say that potentially they'll go to the asexuals, which please leave the ace community alone.
What could they?
Please.
What could they even potentially go after them for?
Not fucking.
Are they just going to call them virgins? Is that it?
You think they wouldn't stoop that low?
That's the only thing they have, and that's not even that bad.
Listen, if there's one thing you shouldn't underestimate, it's the ability for
Like
Republicans.
that's not a deep cut at all. Like, yeah, a bunch of Nick Fuentes types calling asexuals virgins. Sure.
Like, listen, you should never underestimate the abilities of conservatives to essentialize just random shit that actually has, like, no, like, fucking basis in reality.
You're right. I'm treating conservatives like they're a bastion of logic.
Yeah.
That's where my fallacy comes in. You're completely correct.
Yeah, no. Don't think of this in a logical stance.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I forget that logic and reality have a
Yeah.
bias. Logic, reality, science, academia, all of that stuff.
Yeah. But I'm just
But you really think asexuals?
I've heard rumblings. I mean, what other sexual minority could you go after?
I mean, and that's the thing. Like, and what I'm afraid of is that conservatives will just make something up and then be bigoted towards that group, and where it just encompasses the groups that they were bigoted to before.
Yeah.
Like they'll just create something brand new and attack the people that they used to be able to attack, but now on a different ground.
Yeah.
So, because let's just face it, they are creative, and once they get behind something, they will stand behind that and keep their feet planted in the ground and not move a single bit from that point until it's actually written in legislature.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, remember back when they legalized gay marriage, they shut the fuck up.
First they bitched, screamed, and moaned and cried, and for about a good solid 2 years. But
now,
then they eventually shut up.
But now it's like you can't even go outside and openly clap like a seal that you're homophobic without getting embarrassed and all of that.
I remember a couple years ago, one of my friends went to UCF, and like there was this like old man railing against gay people, and he's calling lesbians like labia lickers, and he was like, whenever like a gay couple would like kiss in front of you, you'd be like, ew, ew. Like you look like a fucking child.
Smartest homophobe.
Like honestly, it was so fucking cringe. It was so like.
Now I want to see that because that sounds too good to be true.
Like, ugh, disgusting labia lickers, and I'm like, wait, if you're a straight man, you're also a labia licker, you fucking dumbass. He's like,
no. If he's that old, he probably is detested by sodomy, so he wouldn't even get to experience that.
Wait, what does sodomy have to do with being a labia licker?
Isn't sodomy just like penetration that isn't just the normal way of reproducing?
Yes, but what is a lab? Do you know what the? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Not live. This isn't happening live. Please tell me you know what a labia is.
I do know what it is, but isn't that oral?
What? What?
You look orally.
Yeah, but what does sodomy have to do with oral sex?
Oral sex is sodomy, isn't it?
No. the oral sex is the penile the sodomy is the penile penetration.
Oh no, I was told that it was only penetration.
No, it's the penile.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
then I've been told misinformation.
Oh, okay. For a second, I was about to say, "Oh no, are we r/bad women anatomy right now?"
No, I know what it is.
Okay.
I've just been told that sodomy is everything except penile penetration.
No, everything that I've heard was sodomy was considered penile penetration, particularly of the anus, but sometimes the mouth considered. I mean, most people that got arrested for sodomy were usually people that were doing
No,
it for anal
no.
sex.
The reason I say that is because I think I watched other prominent leftists make fun of conservatives about making fun of sodomy, despite technically engaging in other parts of sodomy.
Yeah.
That's where that interpretation came from.
Oh yeah. No, but he
No,
was
no, I
just
promise I know what it means.
okay.
I promise I know what it
Okay.
means.
But
I've just been fed misinformation, apparently.
okay. But yeah, he was like those labia lickers, and I'm like, if you're a straight man, you should be a proud labia licker yourself. Like,
No, no,
what
no.
the fuck is wrong with you?
If Ben Shapiro has taught us anything, is that they don't know how to get women satisfied. We know that for a fact.
Okay, but still, I mean, it's not like if you lick a woman's labia once, she's head over heels. The fact that
It's one way.
either
It's one way.
either way. Oh, this is just another example of conservatives causing moral panics because they want to obfuscate something. In this case, it's the massive death toll of COVID in Florida.
Oh yeah. Oh right. We're talking about the segment.
Yeah.
But give me a second to get back to the segment, please.
You blew raspberries at those people. It was fucking hilarious.
Edit this out, please. Edit this out.
Oh god. Anyways,
so getting back on topic. With this going on, oh god.
I think this is just another example of two things. One, Republicans trying to obfuscate a bigger issue being the death toll of COVID within Florida. But another issue is that they are just purely evil and spiteful people.
Yeah, without a doubt.
They are just evil and spiteful. They don't like gay people because gay people are different and different is icky and icky is bad. And so here we are. They don't actually care about children because if they did care about children, they would, do things to make it so children learned about their sexuality and were healthy. But there's an active incentive to not do that because if children learned about their sexualities and learned about their bodies, that would make it harder for them to be molested and raped, which we know conservatives want that to happen, considering every opponent to up it to ending child marriage laws have been conservatives. And many of the people that engage in these child sex trafficking rings and child sex trafficking crises are usually conservatives.
Yeah.
And let the record be said that Matt Gaetz and Ron DeSantis are kind of buddy-buddy, and guess who is currently under indictment for, what is it, raping children? Matt Gaetz.
Yeah.
Sounds conspiracy brained, but it's not. Conservatives just like to rape children, and that's just the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, there are many reasons to not want to be a conservative, but really, these people are a bunch of people that either are okay with or participate in the rape of children. Why do you want to support these people?
Okay. Coming back. So I looked up the definition of sodomy, and it says intercourse involving anal or oral copulation.
Yeah. It's usually the penile oral. Because you gotta remember, sodomy is a masculine derived thing. Like, no one considers it sodomy if two women go down on each other. But many people do consider it sodomy if a woman used a strap-on. The oral component is usually blowjobs. No one thinks of going down on a woman as sodomy because, let's be honest here, women's sexuality and pleasure being considered? Ha!
Oh, that's right. I consider women's sexuality as a
Yeah, you gotta remember when these terms came about. Women were not active sexual actors within their own sexuality.
Oh, so I was just too much of a leftist.
Yeah.
So that's why. No, No, I was completely correct. It's just the definitions haven't caught up with me.
Yeah, no, like you got to remember when these sodomy laws came out, they were mainly focused on like male
So no,
perpetrators,
the leftist I was listening to was right.
but
Just
just not in the way you were thinking.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
just the definition hasn't caught up with our standards yet.
yeah, no,
So yeah, no, I completely take that back. I was correct. I was 100% correct.
just from a certain point of view, as Obi-Wan would say.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
no. So
yeah, no, when these
I
sodomy,
completely take that back. You don't get to own me on this one. I was 100%
okay, fine. No,
right.
yeah, when these sodomy laws were written, they were mainly written from a perspective that sex was something you do to someone, and it was something that men did to women or men did to boys.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, moral of the story: I'm still right.
Moral of the story: conservatives are really fucking weird about children, and it's very concerning. Anyways, this podcast episode has been all over the place. We have gone on tangents left, right, and center in pretty much every topic. But sometimes it's just like that.
Yeah,
Sometimes we just go on tangents about
but that's
shit.
but that's what the podcast format is for. It's not like a video essay where it's super strict and edited. This is just us talking about topics that are presented to us, and we go off.
Yes, this is the rare self-induced stunlock.
uh, yeah, we do that to ourselves all the time.
Yep.
But they're still a ton of fun.
Yes, they are. Anyways, I think that's all. Next week we'll probably have our review of The Batman.
Oh, without a doubt.
So definitely look forward to that.
Anything else we have to look forward to? I don't want to look forward to updates on Russia Ukraine, but hopefully it's positive news.
Yeah, we'll probably talk more about Russia Ukraine for what will be now the sixth time.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything else that we know of. There could be new news on Pokemon, new news on Dragon Ball that comes out, maybe some new Marvel news.
We haven't touched on COVID in a while. Maybe we can talk about has life truly returned to normal?
We could talk about that.
Honestly, that would be a topic I would not mind talking about because mask usage is down a lot, and now a lot of like of COVID guidelines have pretty much gone away. So I would like to talk about that next week.
It would be interesting to see how COVID is going to work with the Ukrainian refugees across Europe.
Oh, we could see a lot of bigotry that we saw towards Mexicans coming in to the U.S.
Yeah,
because remember that whole fiasco where Biden still instated. What was the rule he used? It was something that had to do with we can't verify their medical records, so we can't let them in type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we could see that happen as well, but again, I do want to take like a decent amount of time to look into how like deaths have gone down and how like infection rates have gone down, even though they may have not, for all we know.
Yeah.
Because COVID is out of the media sphere.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I mean, I did hear, I was at the doctor's office today and they had the TV running and they did talk about COVID. So it's not fully out in terms of local news.
Yeah, as far as local news, but like national news and social media and all that. I wonder if it's too early to start celebrating yet, but
we'll see when when variant X shows up and kicks us in the ass again.
Oh yeah, we could see another variant, but we're take this as a teaser for what we may talk about next week if we're limited on news. Yeah, because we've done several like less relevant news types, but this might be something that could be fun.
Yeah. Anyways, that'll be the end of our episode. You want to take it away since I saw it last time?
Yes, you can definitely catch us every week on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. I've been your host, Sovereign.
And I've been Shiny.
And we're signing out.